Florida's Board of Education has sparked outrage after announcing a new set of controversial guidelines for how Black history should be taught in public schools. One part of the new standards requires instruction on how slaves may have gotten a, quote, personal benefit from being taught certain skills while enslaved.
Vice President Kamala Harris made a last-minute trip to Jacksonville last night. She called out that specific part of the curriculum in a very fiery speech.
This is unnecessary to debate whether enslaved people benefited from slavery. Are you kidding me?
CNN's Jasmine Wright joins us now from the White House. I understand that this was a last-minute decision from the White House. What else did we hear from the Vice President?
Yeah, Victor, it was a last-minute decision added to her schedule on Thursday, a White House official told me. But she, in those remarks, absolutely slammed Republicans for their participation in this new standards for the Florida Board of Education, really saying that they were pushing propaganda. And she said that so-called leaders, not naming Ron DeSantis by name, but of course in his home state, were willfully misleading children about the negative impacts of slavery and other historical events. Of course, book bans and the right to learn is something that the White House has been focusing on at an increasing pace, really trying to speak out against it, which is exactly what Vice President was doing, trying to galvanize base Democratic voters ahead of the 2024 election when she said that Republicans were replacing history with lies. Take a listen.
These extremist so-called leaders should model what we know to be the correct and right approach if we really are invested in the well-being of our children. Instead, they dare to push propaganda to our children. This is the United States of America. We're not supposed to do that.
Now, Victor, that performance that we just saw from the Vice President is the exact reason why Biden officials put her in that place, really thinking that she's a person that can galvanize base Democratic voters on this issue, among other cultural war issues that we know that the White House is increasingly wading into ahead of that 2024 campaign.
Jasmine, are we hearing anything from Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, well, this is something that Ron DeSantis likes to do. He likes to tussle with national Democrats over these cultural war issues that, and a lot of times, he starts those conversations. And so that's what we saw yesterday. Before we heard from Vice President Harris, he called her a liar in a tweet, basically saying that she was misleading the country about what exactly is in these new standards in the state of Florida. And then afterwards, when talking to reporters, he expanded more on exactly how he thought that slaves would perhaps get a positive benefit out of slavery. Take a listen.
I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
Now, one thing here is interesting is not only, of course, the Vice President's remarks later on Friday, we saw her say that people who are leaders are really pushing around, who want to be considered leaders, are pushing around propaganda. But it's also this increasing intensity on the Biden administration and the campaign's part of really engaging Ron DeSantis and taking him really to task and condemning these more cultural war aspects like this right to education and right to learn that we saw on Friday. It marks a real shift from the White House, not only just focusing on former President Trump and the threat that he believes, that they believe he poses to democracy, but also now taking on Ron DeSantis on issues just like this, hoping once again to galvanize those voters before 2024.